This is the second set of CAT 23 slot 3. Another beautiful set. No calculations at all, right? Just reading the data and using the Brahmastra that we know as elimination, right? And more than elimination, checking all possibilities, right? The biggest trouble in LR questions that we have is randomness. Checking all possibilities is the only solution, and it is not hit and try. So we'll just go through with that. Let's see. The question says, in a coaching class, some students register online, some other offline. Okay, so two criteria, online, offline. No student registers both. Okay, that's a good information actually. So that there is no common, there is nothing, no confusion. The total registration is the sum of online, offline, of course. Okay. The following facts and table pertain to these registration numbers for the 5 months. Okay, this comes, expansion of data. That's what I call January to May. So Jan, Feb, March, April, May, 5 months. The table shows the minimum, the maximum and the median registration. I've said this in one of the previous sets also. Minimum, if I'm saying minimum, that means that value has to be used. Maximum, if I'm saying maximum, then the value has to be used. Okay. Median may or may not be used depending upon the number of items to be even or odd. If the number of items is odd, then median also has to be used, right? Fantastic. Registration numbers of these 5 months separately for online, offline and total number of registrations that is given in this table. Great. The following additional facts are known. In every month, both online and offline registration numbers were multiples. This is a very good information. We have seen this in one of the earlier sets also. In January, the number of offline registrations was twice that of online. Okay, good. In April, the number of online registrations was twice that of offline. These two seem to be pretty good information, isn't it? Because they're, look at the values, simple values. Though we have only 3 of them and total there are only 5. So nothing to worry, just that I'm saying values are very simple. So even if this twice wala calculation will be needed, it won't be a calculation. Okay. The number of online registration in March was the same as the number of offline registration. This is one peculiar or particular information will be used in the middle of something, but this should be the starter. I think it's pretty clear. This should be the starter, not very difficult to identify. The number of online registration was the largest in May. Oh, this itself should be kept in the table. So in the next slide, I've taken the important information out of this. We have marked all the things and yeah, let's see, we'll have more space there. Okay. So total is online plus offline. That should be here. All numbers multiples of 10. January offline is equal to 2 times online. April online is 2 times offline. Online in March is equal to offline in Feb. Online largest in May. Nice. How should we go about it? I think we should first create a table. How do we create the table? Let's see. I'll say Jan, Feb, March, April, May. You have to understand it's very easy for me to put an Excel sheet here and then fill the values. In exam, you don't have any option. You have to use your pen and paper. Make a habit of seeing those things. Make a habit of doing those things on pen and paper, with pen and paper yourself. Otherwise, that visualization thing will create a lot of trouble. You will remember good, beautiful structures from online lectures and it is not going to help you because unless you pick up your pen and paper and draw these things, the habit will not form. And it is all about habit. It is all about subconscious memory or the muscle memory that we say. Okay. So here we have online values, right? And we have offline values. And we have total values, right? Total is just the sum of these two. Okay. How should we proceed? Even before we proceed, look at these numbers now. Online minimum is 40, maximum is 100, median is 80. What are the possible numbers? The possible numbers are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Do you see that? For online values, these are the values that are possible. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And how many of them are to be used? Only 5 of them. Yeah, some of them can be same. We'll further reduce it. Don't worry, we'll further reduce it. We haven't used the property of median yet. What is the meaning of median? The meaning of median is the middle value, the third value. So out of 5, the third value has to be 80. That is for sure. So I'm going to remove this. See what I do. We have to use the property of median. Why is it given? End of the day, if it is given, it has to be used. Also, not to forget, the minimum value is given. It's pretty important to understand in every question. Wherever you have a minimum that is 40, that means 40 has to be a part of this group. Maximum is 100, 100 has to be a part of this group, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't say the maximum is 100, okay? So, one of the values in online has to be 40, that is for sure. One of the values has to be 100. And one of the values has to be 50. And that has to be the third value. Now we have two places here. Why does it have to be third value? Because there are 5 items, median will be the middle number, that is 50. Okay, now these two places, it can have, oh, it is not 50, it is 80. I'm sorry, please don't get angry. It is 80. So this value is 80. Now, what are the possibilities? Try to understand the possibilities here for this value will be anything from 40 to 80. Will be anything from 40 to 80. So I'll write 40, 50, okay, 60, 70, 80. You know, if I take any one of these, it cannot be 90, it cannot be 100, okay. Now this value has to be anything from 80 to 100. 80, 90 or 100, right? It cannot go beyond 100, it cannot go below 80. So one of these values will come in this place, one of these values will come in this place. Which month, that I don't know, okay. Now, offline, what do you see offline? Minimum is 30, maximum is 80. So one of the values has to be 30, one of the values has to be 80, right? And median is 50. Again, there are 5 numbers. Median has to be the middle number, that is 50. Very clearly, same way, this place should be filled by either 30 or 40 or 50, right? Similarly, this place has to be filled by either 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. Nice. Okay, now total is 110, 130, oh, these are anyways consecutive numbers. So here we don't have any trouble. Okay, the total will have the possibilities as 110 as the minimum, 130 as the maximum, and 120 as the value here. So clearly this value will be either 110 or 120. This value will be either 120 or 130. Right? So these are the possibilities. Please try and understand that these are the only possibilities. It's such a happy situation. You don't have to randomize. You only have to pick up these numbers, put it here, check which one satisfies and so on. But that too, after using these conditions. Okay, now let's see. What does it say? All numbers, multiples of 10, great. January offline, 2 times online. January offline. Offline is anyways less, right? And that is 2 times online. Do you see that there is only one possibility? There is only one possibility. Try to identify which one is it. 80 is anyways the largest number. 40 is the smallest number. 80 is the largest in offline. 40 is smallest in online. That is the only pair of one number being double of the other. So clearly in January this has to be 80 and online has to be 40. Total has to be 120. Do we see that? Right? So we have used the 80 value for the largest possibility and 40 for the minimum. That is done. Nice. Let's go ahead. Then there is another one. In April, online is 2 times offline. Online is 2 times offline. What do we have? Online, 2 times offline. Online values are here. So if I start with largest 100, then it can be 50, right? So 150. But don't forget, the total cannot be 150. Total maximum is 130. Okay, so I cannot have 150 there. I cannot have 150 there, right? Okay, can we have 80 and 40? Can we have 80 and 40? I don't see there is another 90 and 45 we don't have. So 80, 40 is the next possibility. Can we have 70, 35? 35 is not there. Can we have 60, 30? What if I take 60, 30? Just to check 60, 30. Oh, right. The problem with 60, 30 is total 90. Some cannot be 90. Do you see that it is such a beautiful way to analyze the data that you're checking all possibilities and then finalizing? Finally, you see that there is only one set or only one pair that is satisfying the situation. Okay, so just try and practice that in almost every situation. Wherever you can identify the options, make the list of options and then eliminate. That's perhaps the most confident way, or it will make you so confident and happy about the learning process that at least the next time when you see a similar or even a difficult situation, you will be able to do something in that. You will be able to start and then slowly the things will be clear. Okay, so we have 120, 120. Okay, so that means we still have not utilized 110 for total, 130 for total. Okay, so we have used this one, we have used this one. Okay, next one. Online in March is offline in Feb. Online in March is offline in Feb. So if I say this is X, this is also X, just to show that these two numbers are same. Very good. Online largest in May. Online largest in May. What is the largest in online? 100. So this has to be 100. Okay. Now if this is 100, maximum total is 130, minimum offline is 30. Okay. So what is the rocket science behind deciding that offline has to be 30? Fantastic. So this total is 130. Wow. We have utilized 130. So 110 is yet to be utilized. So is it clear that one of these has to be 110? Is it clear that one of them has to be 110? Right? Let's see. Yes. So I just remove this. So one of them has to be 110. That is for sure. What about the other one? We already have 120, 120, 130. So the median issue is over. It is done. Right? The third value will be 120. Even if I take this as 110, just try and understand. I'm taking a blue color just to give you the idea of what possibilities can happen. 110, 120, or 110. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I'm talking only about the possibilities. 110, 110. Is it possible? Yes, because 120 still will be the third number. I want this 120 to be the middle number. Why? Because the median is given 120. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. What if I have 110 one of them and 120 the other one? You can take 120 here. Right now I'm just checking the possibilities, right? So 110, 120, 120, 120, 130. Right. So this is still 120 will be the third number. So it is still no problem. Can I have this one as 130? Can I have this one as 130? Or any one of them as 130? Any one of them as 130. Isse kya hoga? Look at that. 110. 120, 120, 130, 130. Oh, great. So we can have 130 also. And still 120 will be the third number, right? So this is also possible. Can I have, so I have checked with 110. Can I have 120 and 130? Is that possible? 120 and 130, is that possible? This is not possible. Why? Because where is 110? 110 is the minimum. So minimum has to be there in one of the possibilities. So very clearly, one of them has to be one of these two places. One of these two places has to be 110. The other one can be anything. One of them has to be 110 and the other one can be anything. Now we don't know which one is 110. That is very clear. Now analyze this first one and the second one. Offline, check offline first. Offline because the numbers are smaller. That's the only reason that I'm checking it. The median is 50 and still not visible anywhere. Do you understand that one of them has to be 50? And below 50, already we have two numbers, so the other number has to be more than 50. Are we making sense? I'll just make the list 30, 40, right? Third number has to be 50 and then 80. Now this number will be either 50 or more than 50, but one thing is very clear that no 30, no 40 anymore. No 30, no 40 anymore. Does it make sense? So in offline, you cannot use 30 anymore, you cannot use 30 anymore, you cannot use 40 anymore, right? This is a very crucial information. Fantastic, right? So this one of them has to be 50 and the other one has to be more than 50. That's a very important thing. So that is why I have striken out so that we know very clearly that at these two places, one of them will be 50 and one of them will be any one of these, right? So let's see how we put there. Okay, so for X value, I'll check the possibilities. I'm using still blue color so that we keep striking our possibilities. I'll start from one end. I'm going to remove this. I'll start from one end. What is the thing that we need to keep in mind? That one of these values will be 50 and the other one will be more than 50 or equal to 50. That is fine. Anything from 50 to 80, basically one of these four numbers. Let's start with the largest one. Can I take this as 80? Then this will also become 80. But as we keep saying that one of them has to be 50, if I have taken this as 80, this has to be 50. So this will become 80 plus 50 and that is 130. That is still fine. But 110, remember 110 is missing. So to make this 110, this will be 30. To make this 110, that will be 30. Is it making sense? 80, 80, 110, 130. So 120 is still the median. Here 80, 80, 50, 40, 30. 50 is the median. Here 30, 40. Oh, but where is 30? In online, where is 30? Okay, there is no 30. So what does that mean? How did we start? We started with this 80. Right. So what is wrong in this? The wrong thing is you cannot put 80 there. Are we clear? You cannot put, see, we started from one end. We cannot put 80 there. So 80 cannot be there. So strike out 80 from there. Okay. So strike out 80 from there from your available choices. So now we have 50, 60, 70 only. Not to forget, I'll repeat again, one of them has to be 50 and one of them has to be from 50, 60, 70. Let's go ahead. Now the lower number, 70. If I put 70 here, if I put 70 here, remember not to forget, one of them has to be 50. So this one will be 50. In that case, 70 plus 50 will become 120. In that case, this has to be 110. And in that case, this is 40. Is this fine? Let's check that. Look at online, 40, 40, 70, 80, 100. This becomes the third number. So this becomes the median. Is it correct? Is that correct? Okay, so what does that mean? No, it is not correct. It should have been 80. So that means we remove 70 from here, we remove 40 from here, 70 from here, 50 from here, and this, and then we strike out 70 from this list. So now there are only two numbers that are there. Okay, there are only two numbers that are there for these two. We are checking for X, don't forget. We are checking for X, right? Not to forget. Now, can I put 60 there? Just do the same thing again. 60. One of these has to be 50, so this will be 50. 60 plus 50 is 110. Nice. This we have saved. Okay. Now, what can I put here? Now, this becomes free. This becomes free because the moment I get 110, look at the list that I have. 120, 120, 130. It doesn't matter whatever is this value. It doesn't matter whatever is this value. Lowest it can be is 110. For this to be 110, here we should have 50. Right? Lowest we can get is 110. For that, it has to be 50. But in that case, 40, 50, 60. Again, median will be 60. So is it correct? Nope, it is not correct. So 50 we cannot put. What if I put 60 here? Again, the median will be still 60. Not correct. What if I put 70 here? So 40, 60, 70, 80. Still the median will be 70. Not correct. What if I put 80 here? But if I put 80 here, then 80 plus 60 will become 140. That is not possible. Oh, okay. So finally, what happens now? Please repeat the video once more, okay? So that you have a clear understanding and listen to everything that I said. So here we cannot put even 60 because if I put 80, then 80 plus 60 will become 140. Fantastic. So remove that possibility also. And now you see there is only one possibility that is left for X. Do you see that? Do you enjoy that? Do you understand that? Okay. So I think now we have pretty clear situation that this 60 is also not possible. That leaves us with 50. Only one possibility. And if that doesn't happen, then the question is wrong. Okay. If that doesn't happen, then the question is wrong. Okay. So this 50-50 is filled and there is no question about it. There is no confusion about it. Okay. Now what do we have to do? One number is 50. The other number is either 50 or more than 50. Right? How does it work for us? Let's see. 30, 40, 50. Now 50 is the middle number. So this number will be either 50 or more than 50. Let's check that. If I put 50 here, I'll get 100. Is that possible? Nope. So I cannot. So this 50 is frozen. Okay. This 50 is frozen. Don't change it now. You cannot change it now. Okay. That is the last possibility. So we cannot put 50 there. Can I put 60 here? If I put 60 here, then this will become 110. That is possible. That is possible. What else? Here, can I put, what are the possibilities that we have? These are the possibilities. 40, 50, 90, not possible. 50, 50, 100, not possible. Remember, minimum is 110. 60, 50, 60, 50, 110. 110, but again, 40, 50, 60, this becomes the third number. So this becomes the median. Remember, median is 80. So I cannot put 60 here. Can I put 70 there? Can I put 70 there? 70 plus 50, 120. But still 70 will be the median. So for that median to be correct, this number has to be 80. right? 80. So 80 and 50, 130. That's fantastic. That's the only possibility that we have. 110 was supposed to come in any case. 110 was supposed to come at any case here, right? Can we put 70 here? Let's check that. I'll just do that. So just keep this picture in mind. We need to check 70 here and 80 here. Is that possible? Let's check that. So I remove this, 110, 130. See what happens. I think this we have checked again and again. This cannot be less than 80. It will be 80 or more. So this has to be 130. Okay. So I'll stop here actually. So this has to be 110. This cannot be less than 130 in any case, because now we already have got 50. This value is not, this place is not accepting anything less than 80, right? Otherwise that number, the median will not be 80. So this has to be 80. Just think about that. If you take this number, irrespective of whatever is here, this place, if you take anything less than 80, what happens? 40, 50, 70, third number. So this becomes a median. So for 80 to be median, this place has to be either 80 or more, right? And now that we have finalized that this place has to be 50, this place has to be 80, because anything more will give us more than 130. 110 is still not utilized, so this place has to be 110. So this place has to be 60. And finally, we have checked all possibilities, eliminated all wrong situations, and this is the exact final structure. Again, as I said in the last set, please repeat the video. Very beautiful explanation. And this is methodical explanation. Try and understand there is no hidden trial at all with intention. Okay, this is methodical explanation. Nowhere else you will find this kind of explanation. And even if you don't find clarity that what has to be done. Here, first thing was outlining all possibilities. What did we do? The first thing that we did is outlining all possibilities. That's the biggest trouble in LR. कैसे करें पता नहीं चलता है, surety नहीं होती है. This is the surety. We have outlined all possibilities. We have checked each and every case with a lot of patience. Now, we could have done a lot of mental work. If you noticed, I every time started with the largest one. If I had done some little bit of work, I would have put 80 first here and then other things, because that was the only possibility. That you would realize later on, but that is again an afterthought. I keep saying this, that afterthought pe mat jao. Do your process, let that feeling of elimination come into you automatically. That will be the best part. And that will happen after doing at least 6 to 8 examples, 6 to 8 sets. So do not hurry up. It is a very slow process, right? Keep working on that. Anyways, let's look at the questions. Now that we have derived everything, this is the last option. There is no other possibility after this. So that's it. We don't need to check 70, 80 here, right? Because then this 110 will go away. It will have to come here. 60, this value cannot be less than 80. Right. So questions. What was the total number of registrations in April? Now the questions are very easy. April total is 120. Nice. 120. What was the number of online registrations in January? Online January is 40. Online January is 40. 40. Very good. Which of the following statements can be true? Which of the following statements can be read carefully with a lot of patience? The number of offline registration was smallest in May. Offline, smallest May. Offline, May 30. Is it smallest? Oh wow, it is. Yes, it is. So it is correct. Total number of registrations was smallest in February. Total February smallest. Total February small. Oh, that is wrong. That is wrong, is it? 130 is saying, so just let me check that again. The total number of registration was the smallest in February. It is wrong. It was the largest. So only one, option B, is the correct answer. All right. 9. What best can be concluded about the number of offline registrations in February? Offline in February. Let's see. Offline in February. Offline in February is 50. And that we have done with utmost clarity, isn't it? So no other option, no other possibility. It has to be 50. Option D is the correct answer. Mark it confidently. Okay. Which pair of months definitely had the same total number of registrations? Definitely had same total of registrations. Definitely had same total of registrations. So I think 120, 120. That is April, Jan. April, Jan. That is one pair. And we have 130, 130. All right. Feb and May. So Feb, May, April, Jan. Feb, May, April, Jan. Nice. Both both are true. So both 1 and 2 are true. So once again, you have done a very beautiful set with a proper detailed methodical explanation, which is really helpful. This explanation of this set also can be taken as a full conceptual class.